So trauma has a wonderful way to help us. That may sound weird to hear, but it's true. Trauma can either make us not excel to our potential, or trauma can make us excel and go above and beyond our potential or perceived potential. My name is Dr. Anna Dolopo. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. If you need psychological care, please make sure you see a licensed therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist. I'm just going to share with you things that I've seen. I've committed my life to this work since 1994. But I want to approach this video with you on what I've done to heal from childhood trauma. And without going into my stories, I want to share, number one, that I healed from them: anxiety, depression, and everything in between. And yesterday and recently, and I think it's because we're going into fall, we're going to be approaching the holidays, we start getting more reflective. We're no longer in summer, so people start becoming much more reflective. This is Southern California. It's still sunny, but we can see all the Halloween stuff coming out, and in the back of our head, we know the fall's coming in. And for many of us, we think about the people who we lost as children or teenagers or as adults, and it's painful. I just rewatched one of my Happy Club videos, and it's been going on 5 years now that I lost 4 friends in 1 year. One of them on my birthday on December 19. And I can tell you that family who lost their son, their brother, probably has a very difficult time in December. That's the type of trauma, the loss of someone whom you love so much. I notice that the people here who take longer to heal are the people who have unresolved trauma. And what I want to share, number one, as a patient myself, having received acupuncture since 1994, I would love to see that. I would love to say that only talk therapy helped me, but for myself, Chinese medicine has been a huge factor in graduating from anxiety and depression. It is a lot of work to get to a point where you feel stable and you feel like stuff can be happening and you don't get overwhelmed. Not to say that I never get overwhelmed, but I can talk about trauma with anyone, about my life, and not cry and not have any triggers. That's not the case for many people. So this video was born from someone who shared via text with me yesterday to see if I can help her sister. And I shared my newsletter. I shared 2 anxiety newsletters. If you go to elementsinharmonyacupuncture.com/anxiety-newsletter, you'll see there's a girl, very pretty girl, smiling, and another one at the bottom right below it it's a black photo, and it says elementsinharmonyacupuncture.com/anxiety-newsletter. So the one with the girl smiling, that's my most recent anxiety and mental health newsletter. I wrote down that trauma has a way to help us. We can either become very resentful throughout our lives and hardened, or and we stay there bitter, resentful, or we can take that and transmute that energy and really self-realize the greatness inside of us. We can really get to know ourselves so that the best comes out in us. I did a video yesterday, and I was basically talking about how acupuncture helps people here sharpen their saw so that they can bring out the best in the world. And the only way you can bring out the best in other people, if you're a teacher and you want the best out of your student, then you have to be performing your best. If you're a doctor or a therapist or a counselor or something, where you're a mentor to people, the only way you're going to get the best out of someone is if you are bringing out the best in yourself. That's what I truly feel. People in general are very, they can read what's genuine consciously, subconsciously. They can see it. And so if I'm dealing with something, I need to resolve it as quickly as possible, or gently and lovingly put it aside and say, okay, I'm going to work. So some things are just going to take a little longer, but I'm not going to hold that resentment while I'm putting needles in someone, because in my opinion, and this is my 25th year in practice, I really believe that when I'm doing massage or I'm doing acupuncture or whatever, if I'm talking to a client or a student or a patient, they're receiving an extension of me. So in order for trauma to be very helpful to us, we have to rearrange the story that we tell. We have to rearrange, we have to rearrange this narrative. We have to reframe our story. Because if we keep talking about what happened in the past, you're living in the past. You're not living a hopeful future. But I do have a saying, I don't think I made it up. I think I learned it from someone. You can't put potpourri in a bag of doo-doo. You can't, because you can try to say, I'm positive, everything's good, it's all right, it's fine, it'll work out, and that can help to a point, but you're sticking your head in the sand, and you're not really healing from that abuse, from the neglect, from the verbal, sexual abuse. You're not learning how to deal with the physical abuse, with healing from that, and understanding, who you are and how you can make that work for you. Now, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not going to give you advice on how to handle those situations. But I can tell you that I have done therapy. I've done talk therapy. I pray, I meditate, I do a bunch of things. But one thing that's been a critical element in my healing process, and I'm about to turn 50, so I started studying this medicine when I was 20 years old. That's when I really embarked on this journey of healing from mental health disorders. And when you're living with anxiety, stress, and just this black cloud over you, it can really feel like you're not moving forward. It feels damp, it feels heavy, it feels relentless, it feels like something's holding you down, like you're like quicksand. You're trying to get up, but the quicksand is just pulling you down. Or like you're in the ocean and the seaweed's just pulling you down, but so you don't feel free. And I've been getting so many texts like, can you help me? And I'm, usually I send out texts on pain, but recently I've been sending out newsletters on, or my links, my URLs on anxiety and depression and the other videos I've done. And there must be something going on, and I really think it has to do with, even though it's sunny here in Southern California, we do have fall season, and emotionally, internally, we know something's going to be happening. You see the Halloween decorations. You see, that we all know that the fall is quickly coming. And several years ago, I was just watching one of my Happy Club videos yesterday, and it's called Setting Intention. And in the video, I talked about 4 friends that died in the same year. One of them being a really good friend of mine. He died on my birthday, which is in December. And to lose 3 friends in 1 year is one thing, but to lose a 4th friend on my birthday, it really made me reflective. Especially since the same conditions that they were suffering from, they were friends, they weren't my patients. In my own practice, those people are still alive. And to this day, the same people, 4 other people dealing with similar health issues are still alive. One of them was given a 3-month life sentence in 2020. Today, it is October 17, 2023. And she just celebrated her 3rd birthday since she was given that diagnosis that she would die. And she's alive. And when she told me I have 3 months to live, I said, cancel, no you don't. And I gave her the reasons why she had to live. And I really had to process that my friends died, but I was able to help participate in the lives, in the extension and improvement of life quality with 4 other people. I had to really process that. And that was a very difficult time for me as a practitioner, as a doctor of Chinese medicine. It really made me feel like, what am I doing? And how come I'm able to help strangers, but I can't even help my own friends and family? I had to really process that. So reframe your life. I've learned how to do that that's pretty much how a huge component in me healing from childhood trauma. And I usually share that maybe individually. I share it with, in a private setting. Let's just say there was tremendous, fear from different types of childhood trauma, and it was chronic and it was ongoing and it was something that I had to escape from. So I'll just leave it at that. But it took, the fact you see a picture with my husband, we just celebrated 21 years of marriage, happy marriage, and 3 kids. And that's a huge accomplishment for me. And so when I'm talking with men or women here, especially women who feel like, they have put aside their careers so that they can have children, I tell them you're killing it in life. And you have to relish in that, you have to celebrate that amazing accomplishment in your life. And then for women who focus on career and now they're trying to build a family, I tell them, don't feel badly for it. Like, relish in that, and now let's build your family, as opposed to feeling badly about things. Because the more you feel bad about things, you're just going to attract more of that. And that's the story that just continues and continues and continues, as opposed to, all right, like my mentor, I said several years ago, I said, yeah, I'm just a purple belt and I have 3 kids. He said, no, you have 3 kids, you're a mother, and you're a purple belt. And I had to reframe how I see things. I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I have to look at things like that. Like, I have to look at the fact that my doctorate came after 1994 and I got it 2022. It wasn't just a few years. It was training since 1994. So I look at things like that. I just found out that someone very close to me is going to earn his black belt after 17 years of training, and he never quit. But he's been on his path for 17 years without quitting, while providing for a family, while being an amazing husband, while never skipping a beat in life. So instead of comparing yourself to other people, you have to look at what you are accomplishing in spite of all the different variables going on in your life. I see people heal tremendously, sometimes even wholly, completely from childhood, adult trauma. But until you do, I'm going to say this as a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, very rarely do people really fully heal until they fully heal emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And whatever your faith is, whatever your philosophy is, that has to be a creed that is in front of you most of the time, if not all the time. You live by it. This is what I want in life. I want to win. I want to do this. And it's not just about getting a paycheck. It's what you're contributing to the world, what your philosophy is, what it is that you live by. And when I know I'm going off on a tangent there, but that's how I heal. And that's how I help people heal here, so that they can live pain-free, so that they can have not just, I have anxiety, put needles in me, and then I just want to feel better. It's not about that. It's, I have this. And if you're honest with yourself, you know how those mental health issues, how the trauma, in this case, I really want to talk about trauma, how it's impacting your life, how it's affecting you and limiting you and allowing your glass ceiling to control you and doubting yourself. So, if this is something that you really need to take care of, definitely see a therapist, psychotherapist, psychologist, psychiatrist. But if you want to move things from an energetic perspective, I get a lot of referrals from other therapists. And energetically, acupuncture is so powerful. Body work is so powerful. I have an amazing team here. Dr. Hui Jia Deng, Pam Kaur, she's an acupuncturist and a registered nurse. Nicole Davidson, she has 20 plus years experience as a massage therapist and a neuromuscular sports therapist. She does pregnancy massage, she does postnatal massage, she massages infants, she does all kinds of work here. And energetic medicine is really powerful. So check us out, Elements in Harmony, acupuncture.com. I hope that this helps at least one of you.